What's up, everybody? Caesar Madrazo here, and we are back with more Doki Doki Blue Skies. Now, where we left off, we had just finished the festival festival performance, and it did not go very well. It wasn't the worst that it could have been, as I explained in the last video, but everybody left in kind of a depressing mood. And we were walking Natsuki home. We just bought her a snack, trying to help her feel better, and let's see where the story takes us from here. With that, another silence falls over us, but this time it's a comfortable silence. We walk together side by side in a bubble of companionship that seems to include just the two of us, and that makes the festival a distant reality. It isn't until we've reached the school entrance that I break the silence again. Which way are you headed? I'm going that way. I point to my left, causing Natsuki to give me a wry smile. I'm in the opposite direction. Oh, well, guess I'll see you tomorrow then. Caesar. Huh? It's okay if I keep coming to the club, right? Why would Natsuki want to ask Caesar that? I mean, Caesar is the newest member of the club. Why would Natsuki feel like she has to ask permission to keep coming to the club? Huh? What do you mean? Of course you can. I mean, we're all going to be expecting you back there. Never mind. See ya. At that, she whirls around and darts away, leaving behind nothing but confusion in the air. Yeah, that was odd. Well, I guess I'll ask her about it tomorrow, but for now it's time to make the trek home. Although, now that I think about it, there's nothing for me back home except anime and video games. I'll probably spend tonight stewing over that question then. Okay, so do we write a fourth poem, or do we just continue with the week? Morning already? I groan as I fumble for the alarm. Man, I feel like sinking into the depths of my bed. Is it natural to feel this tired after waking up? Yeah, it happens to me almost every morning, man. What's the time anyway? 10:30 a.m. What? It's Tuesday. You're late for school, buddy. Holy crap. I've already pretty much missed the first two classes. Wait, you set your alarm clock for 10:30? Because his alarm went off. What? Okay, unless that I just feel like sinking into my bed, it was him falling back asleep immediately after shutting off his alarm. Should I even go to school today or just cut my losses and skip? Honestly, yeah, like what you could probably do is just call up the school and say, hey, wasn't feeling too good, so, can't come in today, sorry. A fierce battle rages within my mind as I lay there, but after a beat I leap out of bed and begin throwing on my uniform. I don't even want to go to school, but I strangely feel compelled to stick to my everyday routine. Well, you're a few hours off of your everyday routine here, man. I've actually had days where, I've woken up really, really late, and, I think there were a few times that my parents actually said, hey, if you're having that much trouble getting around, then it could be that you're sick, or even not. It could be that, your body needs a break. So, if you want to take the day off, then go ahead. Not that that happens too terribly often, but, when it did, just, yeah, like if you're this late, then you might as well just take the day off. No time to eat breakfast today. To be honest, I'm usually too lazy to cook anything anyway. It's 10:39 a.m. now. I'm making good time. Hang on. It's Saturday. What? As that realization hits me, all the nervous tension drains out of my body, leaving me slouched over and exhausted. No, it's Tuesday. Unless we just skipped the entire school week. Now that I'm already out of bed, I might as well do something productive today, although I'll have to get changed into my normal clothes first. At least there's no school to get through today, although unfortunately the literature club is still feeling the effects of the festival. Thankfully the awkward atmosphere is only subtle, but even I, a newbie, can see that everyone's been treading on eggshells. Okay. I really do hope that things can eventually go back to normal, but at this rate I could easily see everyone drifting apart. I mean, even with their reactions being as strong as they were, I couldn't see this being something that the club dwells over for an entire week. Natsuki hasn't spoken to me about things yet either. Well, you didn't ask her the next day? I meant to talk to her about the festival argument the day after, but I just couldn't figure out a way to confront her about it. How about you just walk up to her and say, hey, Natsuki, you feeling any better? You kind of left me on a cliffhanger there yesterday. You want to explain what was going through your mind? I want to make sure you're alright. It's probably just me being too reluctant to bring things up, but I never really found the right time to talk. I should get out of the house for once and stop thinking about these things. It'll be a nice change of pace from staying on my computer all day. Gotta get rid of that pasty pale complexion. Ha ha ha. At least the weather isn't bad today. It's a regular sunny day, not too hot and not too cold. It's just me, my bag, and come to think of it, I don't even know where I'm heading to. Why'd you take a bag with you? Maybe I'll just text Sayori to see what she's doing, although she's probably not awake yet anyway. I haven't hung out with her in a while, and it might prove to be a nice surprise for her. Actually, the more I think about it, the more appealing the idea sounds. I imagine the festival fiasco probably upset her, given how much she cares for the club and the other girls. You've had an entire school week of club meetings to talk with her about this. Like, how is this still something that not only are you still dwelling on, but you haven't even talked to anybody about yet? Can't hurt to see if she's okay and take her mind off it. Besides, I can't imagine she really has much going on either. I dig out my phone and shoot her a message. You live next door to her. Just, go and, knock on her door. Huh, okay, well, this is interesting. Hey, Sayori, what's up? No reply. I checked the time. Knowing Sayori, she's probably still sleeping. I suppose anything before noon is considered early for her. Then again, I'm not much better. The only reason I'm up so early on a Saturday is because I thought it was a school day. I chuckled to myself. My parents would definitely be surprised if they learned I was up before midday on a Saturday. Dad used to joke around calling me nocturnal, like I was a vampire. Thinking about it, given my sleep cycles, he wasn't wrong. Shame I don't have the ability to turn into a bat, though. Or super speed. Well, at least the weather's nice. It's early October now, which is the best of both worlds. As in, it's not quite as hot as it was in the summer, and the real bite of winter hasn't kicked in yet. Yeah, that's true. The mild months, September, October, early November, and then it starts to warm up in, late March, April, May, and then early June. Those are always the best times. Like, now it's July, and even here in Korea, it's really starting to heat up. Like, it gets pretty warm some days. It's fairly warm, with fluffy white clouds accompanying the blue skies. Perching down on the beach, on the beach, on a bench. I think maybe I just have Doki Doki Summertime in my head for some reason. I aimlessly flick through my phone while I await Sayori's reply. Finally, my phone goes off. Hi, Caesar. Sorry about the delay. I just woke up, lol. Called it. Haha, don't worry about it. Just wondered if you wanted to go to the park or something. It's a nice day after all. I'm really liking this phone thing that they got going on here. That's really impressive. I might want to look into figuring out how I could do something like that for the meta series at some point. Sure thing, which one? Lol, you'll see. I'll keep it a surprise. Happy face sounds fun. Give me a few minutes to get ready, okay? Yep, just let me know when you're dressed and I'll meet you outside your house. Alrighty, smiley face. As I slip my phone back into my pocket, I start to aimlessly plan what we'll get up to. There's a park near our house. When we were children, it was almost like a second home to us. So much time spent exploring. We used to get tons of ice cream at the playground after working the puppy dog eyes on our parents. In fact, I think it was at that very park that I first met Sayori. Really? You live next door to her, man. Like, whichever one of you was the newer family to move in didn't, look over and say, hey, there's a kid at that house next door to us. We should go and introduce our kids. Something about ice cream? I'm not even surprised we met and initially bonded over food. Good times. Another notification. Okay, I'm good. Coming out now. With Sayori in tow, we make our way over. Already I'm reminded of the time we spent together last Sunday. I'm hoping today is just as enjoyable. Although last time she got to learn a little more about me, I didn't get to learn much about her. I mean, was there really that much for her to know about you? If she already knew you when you were kids, she knows a lot about you. She just, had to fill in the gap a little bit. And the gap seems to be, we drifted apart, you played a lot of anime and video games, and there you go, you're pretty much caught up. Well, in the time we've been apart. I've got no idea about how she's finding school, what her interests are, her plans for the future, all that stuff. If you've only been apart for a few years, then, well, I mean, it is high school years, so I guess maybe there could have been some drastic changes, but I don't think they'd be that drastic. I think they'd still pretty much be the same person. So, I know you said it's meant to be a surprise, but can I get a teeny tiny hint? Should I? Please, after all, it is super early. I checked my watch, it's 11:30. Sayori, it's almost noon. Yeah, super early. I mean, she's not wrong. I suppose you've got a point. Alright, I lean in conspiratorially. This is super top secret stuff. Understood, agent. If I gave you the codename Childhood, where would you think? She scrunches her face, fiddling with a strand of hair in her hands. Oh, I know. Is she going to get it on her first try? I'll be mighty impressed. You're not taking me back to elementary school, are you? Well, that hope got shot down. I can't help but sigh. No, worth a try. No, I'll give you another hint. Do you remember where we first met? It wasn't elementary school, was it? If you say that one more time. Kidding, kidding. You're kind of fun to wind up sometimes, you know. That was enough to wind him up? Man. Makes a change from you always being a meanie to me. Haha, you love it, really. It's the only way I can get you back from all those tricks you used to play on me, you know. Tricks? I don't know what you're talking about. That innocent childlike grin is back on her face. Already, I'm glad I texted her instead of going back to sleep. What about the time you told my mom that I threw that tennis ball at you so she'd make me give you candy? Or that time we climbed that tree and got stuck. I told you it'd be too high, but you didn't listen. My dad had to get us down. I grin. Although that climb was pretty fun, the view was incredible. See? It wasn't all bad. I know. It was all good-natured. We used to get up to so much mischief. We sure did. Anyway, I think I know where we're going. Paku Park, right? Ah, so there is something in that head of yours after all. Hey! And so here we are. Oh, I love this place. Haven't been here in so long. Yeah, me neither. We take a seat on a wooden bench, which affords us a lovely view of the park around us. Children are playing all sorts of ball games as their parents chat amicably. Dogs are running around as their owners laugh and chase them. I smile. Here with Sayori, I truly feel like I'm at home. Figured it'd do us both some good to take a trip down memory lane, huh? Especially after that fiasco of the festival and everything. Yeah. From the change of her tone and expression, the festival still looks like it's bothering her. I can't blame her. All of the club members are feeling it. I mean, I still say that, you know, after a week, they should be over it by now. I was hoping by now things would go back to how they used to. Yeah, that. I mean, yeah, the festival was a bit of a failure, but the club is still a nice place for us five, right? Yeah, exactly! Sayori looks ahead, idly poking a twig at her feet. Yeah, it is. I just really wish people weren't so mean. We all practice super hard, too. All that. For nothing. Hey, come on, Sayori. It's not like you to be so depressing. We shouldn't dwell too much on that, anyway. What's done is done, right? Besides, I want today to be a good day. She blinks as a slightly shameful look crosses her features. Yeah, you're right, Caesar. Sorry. Don't apologize. After all, it was me who brought it up, so I can't really talk. Anyway, I brought you here because I know this place means a lot to you. I was worried you might be upset, so I was hoping this could cheer you up. Caesar, you didn't have to do that. Well, that, but most importantly, I just needed an excuse to get out of the house. She pokes me in the ribs as I laugh. And besides, spending time with you on Sunday made me realize that we have a lot to catch up on. She giggles. I guess both of us don't know where to start. It's almost like we've just met and it's like we've just met and don't know what to say to each other. In a strange way, I guess that is the case to some extent. I guess I'll start. You know, I've always been curious as to why you joined the literature club. I didn't really think poetry was your thing. She leans forward, resting her chin on her knees. Well, Monika and I are actually in the same class. She's the one who told me about it. In a way, I guess I was kinda like you. Like me? Yeah, as in, I didn't really think much of poetry. It's not that I didn't like it, I just didn't think too much about it. But as I joined, and Monika told me more and more about literature, about how poetry can be a really nice way to express yourself, I loved it. Anyone can write poetry, and that's what I really like. It doesn't matter who you are, what your interests are, or how good you are. There's something for everyone. Interesting. Yuri, Monika, and Sayori all appreciate poetry for different reasons. I get the sense that Yuri likes poetry as it gives her an opportunity to express deep, complex stuff. Monika seems to be on a similar wavelength to Yuri, but I think she prefers abstract stuff more. Then again, I guess Yuri also uses a lot of abstract themes in her poems. Yeah, Yuri's have been even more abstract than Monika's, like, very much so. Who knows? I'm still an amateur. Sayori notices my chuckle. What's up? Nothing. I was just thinking about how everyone in the club seems to appreciate different things in poetry. What else? Sayori has a faraway look in her eyes as she asks the next question. I remember we used to think alike in so many ways. Like, when we used to look at clouds, we'd see a lot of similar stuff in the sky. So I wonder, do we still do that? I grin. I'd totally forgotten how much we used to enjoy cloud watching back in the day. Every time I remember something from our childhoods, it brings a smile to my face. Cloud watching perfectly captured that innocent, carefree essence of nostalgia. Ah, I had totally forgotten about that. We really let our imaginations run wild, didn't we? And the best thing is, it worked. Yeah, clouds are so cool like that. What about that one? She takes my outstretched finger in her hands and points it at a specific spot. Ha! Yeah, I can see that one now. That one looks like a fish. Aw, it's so small. And look at that one. It kind of looks like a little frog. This is what I love about clouds. They're so... what's the word? Cloudy? Ow. You really like poking me in the ribs, don't you? I was trying to think of the right word. I think I heard Yuri say it once. Versatile? I think that means that something is... I forgot. Well, it sounds like it fits. Yeah, I'd say it's about right. Pretty cool how different people see things different when looking at the exact same one. I wonder what the other girls would see. Fluffy kittens for Natsuki and something spooky for Yuri. You've really know them well, huh? So that should be either you've really gotten to know them well, or you really know them well, I think. What do you think Monika would see? A piano? I mean, you can interpret a cloud however you want, right? I'm just thinking of stuff that reminds me of her. Well, I'm happy that we still cloud gaze the same way. Yeah, that makes two of us. I was kind of worried that maybe we'd, I don't know, drifted too far apart. So much that we'd be totally different people, but that doesn't seem look to be the case. Yeah! By the way, Caesar, I've been meaning to ask you. How are you doing in school? Jeez, Sayori, that's a boring question, don't you think? Don't try and warm out this one, mister. Or I think that should be warm out of this one. I don't know, that's a pretty casual question, I think. Just like, hey, how you doing in school? I'm doing alright, you know, A's, B's, the occasional C, standard. I still worry about you, you know. I just want to know if you're doing fine, that's all. There's nothing to worry about, I'm doing just fine. You sound a bit like Mom. I can't tell if that's a compliment or an insult. A mystery we'll take to our graves, huh? Her subsequent pout makes me chuckle. If I got you a popsicle, would that make you less pouty with me? You think you can change my mood with food, huh? Depends on the flavor. Nice. Mental note to self, if Sayori is ever actually annoyed with me, just get her something sweet. Who knows when that information will come in handy later. I sense a little foreshadowing. The more I think about it, perhaps I was wrong to worry we'd have changed too much. After all, I'm still pretty much the same person. 6 or so years isn't that much time, I guess. 6 years? I thought it was supposed to be like 3 years. One thing that hasn't changed is how much she loves to explore and how much her imagination accommodates that. Forests weren't just forests, they were a part of a magical land inhabited by an array of mythical creatures. Beaches weren't just sand and sea, they were a tropical paradise, home to countless happy childhood memories. Searching for crabs, aimlessly splashing in the sea, checking out hidden coves, Sayori could even transform our homes into something they weren't. We used to jump from sofa to sofa, chair to chair, pretending that the floor was lava. The zebra carpet right here, and the sort of overcompensating fireplace, this doesn't look like, you know, the home of a married family. It looks like a bachelor pad, kind of. That game never got old, and I'm pretty sure every kid on the planet has played it too. Yep, I did. You know something, Sayori? She's slightly ahead of me, ducking under a tree branch. We're now in the forest part of the park. I've had a sudden realization as to why your poems are so good. They're not that good. No, seriously. Your imagination has always been super strong, and those games we used to play as children, you were always part of your own little world, and it shows in your poems. I'm glad you picked up on it. Writing poems is half the fun, the other half is showing them to people, especially when they like what you've written. So what's your thought process while you're writing your poems? Like, how do you write them? I just go with my heart. I guess it's kind of tricky to explain. I just think it depends on my mood. Like, when I wrote Dear Sunshine, I was in a pretty good mood. More like you were just hungry, given that you wrote it while you were eating breakfast. I was in a good mood because I was eating breakfast. Anyway, so with bottles, well, I guess I was thinking about how much I want people to be happy. So that's the answer to your question. It depends on my mood and what I happen to be thinking about. I wonder how the others do it. Yeah, me too, actually. Would be kind of interesting to see how you all approach poetry. Although I think I wouldn't be able to understand how someone like Yuri does it. Her poetry still goes over my head. Good to know I'm not the only one. Although, what about your fairy tale poem? What was your thought process behind that one? Oh, that one. There's an immediate shift in atmosphere. There wasn't really one. I just felt like writing it, I guess. But you said you write poems based on what you're thinking of or feeling at the time, right? What about you, Caesar? How do you write yours? So she changed topic. That's a bit of a red flag. Thinking back to her behavior on Friday, I guess it's to be expected. Just what is it about that poem and her behavior that bothers me so much? Is it because it shows a side of Sayori that's totally new to me, one that I'm not used to? Or because I know there's still something she isn't telling me? Caesar? Huh? Oh, sorry, I was spacing out a little bit. Well, I guess similar to you, I suppose? I just pick a bunch of words that best describe what I'm thinking about, and then write a poem based on those. Alright, not quite on the nose, but, yeah, pretty accurate. I just pick a bunch of words that best describe what I'm thinking. And what you're thinking is, you know, which path you're choosing in the game, so yeah, pretty accurate. To be honest, I'm not really experienced enough to give you a proper answer. I kind of make it up on the spot, but it's worked so far, so I'm not complaining. Sayori pauses, looking around at the copse surrounding us. She walks up to a large tree and plants herself down in front of it. I follow suit, resting my back against the sturdy trunk, admiring the soft rays as they penetrate the branches. What you said reminds me of something Monika once told me. Something about if you don't have confidence, just fake it until people believe you do. She turns to face me, a thoughtful expression on her face. Sometimes I wonder if she really is confident, or it's all just a show. I get the feeling that sometimes you can never tell with people. I blink. That was remarkably insightful for Sayori. A more reflective mood seems to have fallen upon her. You know, one thing that I believe my college band director said one time is that, you know, if you don't actually have, you know, a positive mentality on things, or you're not confident about things, then if you just act like you have a positive mentality, or you act like you're confident about something, and you just keep up the act, then eventually, whether it be because of cognitive dissonance or, you know, habit forming or whatever, you eventually actually will become confident, or you will become more positive in whatever it is that you're trying to pretend that you have positivity or confidence in. And from my experience, it actually really does work. In my past, you know, whenever I've been nervous about something, I've pretended that I would, you know, be excited, or I would, you know, like, be aggressively all for doing whatever that thing was that made me nervous. And over time, I stopped being nervous about doing whatever those things were, whether it be, you know, performing music in front of other people, or, you know, going in to take some big exam or something like that. Just over time, the nervousness goes away if you keep pretending, and, like, you know, just keep as deeply as you can pretending that you're not nervous, and pretending that you do have that mentality of, yeah, let's do this. Then eventually it stops being something you're pretending to do, and it just turns into something you actually do. So yeah, it works. No idea, to be honest. She seems pretty genuine. I mean, she was like this when I first met her as well, so that would be an awful long time to wear that mask. Actually, you know, what I'm doing right now is actually the perfect example. I was still trying to make videos back when I was, like, you know, 16 years old. And I remember that when I would try to make a video back then, my voice would always be shaky. I would always be super nervous. And when I was done making a video, I would just, you know, I'd be really disappointed. I'd feel like it could have gone a lot better. But just switching the mentality to, you know, how it comes out is how it comes out. And yeah, I'm not nervous. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to make the video I want to make. Well, it made it, by the time I was, I believe, 20, that I was able to make videos and talk in front of people without much trouble at all. And hence why I'm able to do this with you guys today. So, it works. I wouldn't have expected that sort of question from you, though. Why'd you ask? She smiles mischievously. Sometimes it's nice to surprise people. Haha. What do you mean? Well, let me ask you, Caesar. If you had to describe me in a few words, which words would you choose? Bubbly and, lighthearted and adventurous. I've always seen you as quite kind, you know, given how you're always concerned with how happy other people are. I guess your most definitive trait is your happiness. Like, you always seem so cheerful, at ease with the world. I kind of wish I could be like that sometimes. Although, from what I've sort of picked up on, just like everyone else, you still feel down from time to time, right? She looks on ahead, a faraway look on her face. It's not exactly sad, but there's a certain air of... what? Wonder? Nostalgia? See, that's what I mean. Everyone picks up on those things you mentioned, but they'd find me asking this question a bit unlike me, if you get what I'm saying. I guess it's because of how I act in the literature club. Aside from with my poetry, I never really talk about deeper feelings or things that aren't just aimlessly happy. I guess I just don't want to bother people with that sort of stuff. Bother them? Why would it bother them, Sayori? Well, maybe that isn't the right word. Sorry. I've never really been that good at expressing myself in person. It's much easier to do it in a poem. That's okay. I've never really been good at it either. A lot of the time, I just like to think about the past and how things used to be. I told Natsuki about this, she giggles softly, and Natsuki thinks I live in the past. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, do you? Depends on the degree to which you are living in the past. You know, it's good to reflect on great things that have happened in your past and to remind yourself of, like, who you were so that you can you can come to better terms with who you are. Especially, you know, as people grow, they might kind of lose themselves a little bit. Like, they go down a path and they... might forget why they went down that path in the first place, and being able to reflect on what exactly it was that drove you to go down a certain path or to achieve certain things, it might reignite a flame that might be dying or has already died out because you've forgotten a little bit about why you are in the position that you are and, you know, who you are, like, at your core. But on the flip side, if you over-reflect on the past and you come to the conclusion that things were just so much better and everything sucks now, which, you know, a lot of people do that, then it can be really dangerous and it can be destructive. So, you know, there's a fine line. And you want to make sure that you're not crossing that line. Nah, if you're happy, what's the issue? It's only natural that you'd want to think about the good times that brought a smile to your face, right? When we first started talking again, I used to look back on all our shared memories from all those years ago. From when we first met and bonded over ice cream, to me winning Mr. Cow for you, to helping you with homework. I remember our parents used to say we were pretty much inseparable. Everyone has their happy thoughts which keep them going, right? Stored away in bottles, huh? Of course! She sighs contentedly. Sorry, I didn't mean to bore you or anything. Bore me? Really, Sayori, you're sounding a bit like Yuri. I haven't seen this side of you before, and I really like it. As much as I enjoy our playful banter, this really made for a nice change of pace. Besides, I always like talking to you. Thank you, Caesar. I worry about, well... Sayori, people are always going to enjoy being your friend, even if you're not super chipper all the time. It's okay, seriously, just be yourself. Don't hide anything. I'll be here, don't worry. I reach over and squeeze her hand, smiling reassuringly. Sayori noticeably fidgets, looking rather uneasy about something. What's wrong? Actually, there is something I could tell you. I don't know if it's a good idea, though. This is probably her digging into, you know, the depression topic. My heart starts to race as a million questions start whizzing around in my head. Is this about Fairy Tail, her behavior on Friday, some other secret that's coming right out of the blue? It's either going to be she has a crush on you, or she's going to tell you about the depression. Or perhaps something else entirely? Sayori? The truth is, If disappointment ever had a sound, it would sound like a ringing phone. With a groan, I fumble into my pocket, glaring at the offending object, as if it knows it's responsible for ruining such a moment. You know what you do? Just hit the side button to silence it, and then go back to your conversation. It's my mother. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. In fact, the last time we spoke was before I joined the literature club. I'm really sorry, Sayori. I'm gonna have to take this. A strange smile is on her face. She shakes her head. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Alright, so we're about 30 minutes in at this point, so I think we are going to save here. And we are going to pick up the next episode with the conversation with our mother. So, yeah. Little bit of character development for Sayori here. I think it's pretty much what we would all expect from the original game. And, you know, as I said, there's some really impressive things I've seen already in this new chapter of the mod. So this has been a fantastic chapter so far, and I'm excited to see what comes next. I hope that you guys are enjoying watching. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say. Oh, for those of you that didn't get to see the stream last weekend for 4th of July, I'm sorry, but, you know, I made a rookie mistake, and I forgot to record while I was streaming so that I could make highlights. But this weekend, I'm going to be doing another stream, and it's probably going to be Red Dead Redemption 2 again. And this time, I am going to double check and make sure I am recording. And when I'm doing stream highlights, I'm going to be putting those on my second channel, An American in Busan. So if that's something you'd be interested in, and you haven't subscribed to my American in Busan channel yet, then make sure you go ahead and do so. Also, some of you might know that in the meta series, it's pretty common, or it's sort of a theme, that when dramatic events are happening in the meta series, that I'll put puzzles for people to solve in between the lines, especially on the Discord server. And I've already made one riddle that has already been solved, and the next riddle is going to be coming in relation to the next meta-series episode. So if you're much of a puzzle solver, or if you want to get a little bit of extra meta-series lore, then keep your eye out for that, because these riddles always have to do with extra lore in the meta-series. You might get answers to questions that you might be asking about what some of the other characters are up to, or why certain things are happening. So just a little bit of a plug there. So, that's going to do it for me, guys. Until next time, I'm Caesar Madrazo, and I'm out.